Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Game 2 in a best of 3 between Gonzo and Cadilakor in the quarterfinals of the Steel Division League Code S. Today we are seeing Sainte-Mère-Église, and on the Allied side Gonzo has the first SSB, and on the Axis side Cadilakor has chosen the third Fallschirmjäger. So Gonzo once again on a comfortable division. It's a division he's very well known for on the Allied side, just like he was with the 116th on the Axis side. However, Cadilakor had no problem knocking Gonzo off his pedestal in the last one using the Demi Brigade SAS on Point de Hoc. This time around, can he use the third Fallschirmjäger on Sainte-Mère-Église to take on the SSB? Now, I personally think that's a pretty tall order, especially in Phase A. On the side of the SSB, you have access to Shermans, supported by Centaurs. You've got all of the commando units, the commando assaults, commando support, commando tank busters for AT. And that combination of units is really difficult for the third Fallschirmjäger to deal with, because the third Fallschirmjäger, they rely on Pak 41 Gerlichs and the LGs potentially. They have an abundance of Fallschirmjägers. But all of those are quite easily countered by things like Centaurs and Shermans. So regardless of the infantry matchup, it's really the support tanks that Gonzo has that will make a massive difference here. And that's what we're going to have to look out for. Let's see the units that have gone down on the side of Gonzo. So on the top side, it's going to be some recon there, followed up by the commando leader. Going to be a couple more commando infantry squads, and then we have the Morris LRC, a third one added to the mix there in terms of infantry, and then a Centaur 4 coming up the rear. Then into the town, there is going to be a commando leader with another couple of commando units, commando tank busters as well, commando tank busters for the bottom side, and a couple more commando units there. So looks like a large sort of focus on the top side for Gonzo, maybe going to go across his open ground with the help of the 1200 meter range Centaur. That would be an interesting play for sure. But Cadilakor, he is going to be trying to stop that with the Pak 41, and if he keeps it on return fire, potentially with some command, this could do a lot of damage. Like these Pak 41s, they fire very quickly when they have really high veterancy, and that's something that can make them very potent indeed. For the town, it's going to be 2 Fallschirmjägers, accompanied by an L6 and the AT gun there. There's also going to be the 210mm off-map at the start of the game. That is something you do not see very often anymore. This used to be quite a common thing, especially in maps with towns. But since people have learned that focusing on town engagements generally doesn't pay off in the long run, people have tended to step away from using off-map straight off the bat, unless they know that there is a large force in the town already, because what can potentially happen is you invest into an off-map that costs a lot of money. You say place it to kill off units on the other side of the town, but then there's only like 1 or 2 units there, so you really don't get value for money out of your off-map in that case. So it's a very risky move, but it can pay off if Gonzo is like going to press hard for the town, but as we can see, he is not. So Cadilakor could be in trouble here. On the bottom side, there is going to be the Fallschirmjäger and a Fallschirmflammenwerfer. So generally an infantry setup for Cadilakor, with 1 L6 in the mid, and of course that off-map I mentioned. But I can see Cadilakor having a very hard time with this force on the top, and he's even replaced his Pak 41 Gerlich with a Panzerschreck and a command unit. So no Pak 41 on the top side just yet. That's really not good news. Maybe he's trying to rely on this Pak 41 that's going to be placed into this tree line. That could be a smart move actually, especially since it will be able to engage at less than 100 or 1000 meter range onto this Centaur at all times. So that's a pretty decent idea. The off-map has been placed exactly where you would expect it to. These Fallschirmjägers, well, there's only one actually heading for the town. How do you expect to take advantage of this off-map if you only have 1 Panzer L6 and a Fallschirmjäger? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Cadilakor pushing up very hard with a Panzerwerfer, or Panzerschreck, sorry, trying to get that into a position to ambush any tanks that Gonzo relies on. But to be honest, I don't think this will actually work out, not with the Morris LRC and the Scout here being able to spot that. Yeah, I think the Centaur is going to be targeting that Panzerschreck already. It's probably going to go down very quickly. Here comes the off-map. L6 is going to be the one to try and take advantage. The commander leader is pinned, so any other units that are pinned down should be surrendered very quickly. Looks like Gonzo didn't even see this coming. And, well, may lose a couple of units because of it. But these commando units, they run very fast, and potentially not any squads are going to be surrendered. Wow, would you look at that? The L6 has just charged forwards. All of the commando units have managed to get out of the way and recover. So it really hasn't paid off. Like, the commando leader didn't die. It can still use its grenade if it has to. And this commando tank buster unit, it can move back into the town and kill off the L6. It's only got to shorten the range a little bit and get the kill. Not good news for Cadilakor. Now the commando leader does go down, but look at this on the top side. With the Panzerschreck dead and the Pak 41 not unloaded into this tree line, well, the Centaur and Morris LRC have taken complete control. And the Scout here, that's found and forced back this Panzerschreck on the top side. Fallschirmjäger is being forced back. There's 2 Panzerschreck squads dead. And the commander leaders did die, and the tank busters, well, they're trying to chase down the L6. It looks like they might actually get the kill here. Actually completely overshoot with one of them, but it looks like it got the kill nonetheless. Off-map comes down, kills off a Jeep. Doesn't actually kill off the Commando Fusilier Marines. I feel like all of this off-map thrown into the town from now on is a complete waste. Like, the initial strike, fair enough, because you forced back all of the infantry and there was potential for many surrenders. But the second strike seemed unnecessary, since I think Cadilakor was well aware of where all of the infantry went when the L6 drove through the town. So there we go. This Kubel MG with the Pak 41 Gerlich here really needs to get some work done. The best bet is to potentially just unload it into the side of this tree line, so that when the Centaur moves forward just slightly, you can get a side shot or something. Or this HS-129. Oh, it looks like Cadilakor turned off the main gun in order to turn it on at closer range in order to get a more accurate shot, but forgot to turn the gun back on. And so it didn't even fire its AP shells, and now gets shot down by a Wildcat to add insult to injury. That is nasty. Last rounds come in from the 210mm off map here. They have the potential to pin down the Centaur, but that's not really the thing you want to be sending back right now, since you want to get this Pak 41 into a position to kill that. Fallschirmjägers, they're going to be pinned behind the town, and, well, Gonzo is certainly starting to break through pretty significantly here. The Fallschirmjäger, they engage well in an orchard, so that may help them win out here. But just in general, across the board, Gonzo's making loads of ground. The Commando 6 actually getting the better of Fallschirmjägers. Not often you see Fallschirmjägers beaten by infantry at range, but the Commando 6 with that sniper getting the job done. What is this Pak 41 doing? It's very, very slow to reply here from Cadilakor. Like, this should have been deployed a while ago now, but he's given time for infantry to find it, and now the Pak 41, it's probably going to have like one shot before. Okay, or no shots. I think at this point you kind of need to commit, because the commando supports are going to be breathing down your neck, and the Kubel MG will die to the commando support, so it's not like you can reload them into the transport. Gonzo's seen where that Pak 41 is now. Or did he? Maybe he was distracted elsewhere, but either way, the attack move order is given, and the Pak 41 should be dead very shortly. Yeah, I'm surprised that Cadilakor hasn't committed to killing off the Centaur, because with that Centaur out the way, just an L6 can quite simply drive through all of these units on the top side. Nice kill onto the command unit there with that L6, but are currently at +3 in favour of Gonzo. And now with the commando assaults coming in hot to this town, it's surely going to clean up any remaining units here. The Schwimmwagen Only a matter of time until that goes down to the Vickers K guns. Oh, the commando assault there, throwing a grenade at the Pak 41. Complete overkill. But that's 2 more units dead in the mid. And Cadilakor barely has anything left. Having lost the HS-129 he invested in early on. Really quite savage. That was a lot of points for a division that only has 85 points per minute in Phase A. And when you compare that to the 100 points per minute that Gonzo has, and the fact that he hasn't barely lost a unit, that is not good news. So Gonzo here just coming out strong with a really solid strategy that has caught Cadilakor completely off guard. But I also think it's kind of the mistake of Cadilakor investing in that off-map. I don't think there's a reason to really invest in off-map anymore in top tier games because people don't invest as much into the towns initially. So either way, Commando 6, they killed off this AT gun, that's why I was zooming in there. Wildcat now going to be coming in for the bombing run onto the Panzer L6. That's going to potentially leave the Morris LRC to engage it. Fallschirm Panzer Abwehr might be able to prevent that engagement, but depends if Gonzo can see them or not. He will see them once they fire, that's for sure. And that's going to be internal fragments onto the Morris LRC. Fallschirm Panzer Abwehr going to come under fire immediately from the sniper from the Commando 6. They find themselves pinned down. The Morris LRC can now get aggressive actually and just fast move up this road, but depends if Gonzo really wants to commit since he hasn't lost many units so far. Maybe going for a perfect KD. Who knows? Nope, there goes another unit. He's pretty far off a perfect KD anyway, since he has already lost a couple of these commando leader squads and some other infantry here and there. But just in general, Cadilakor really not in a decent position. 3-star Morris LRC. Can it do some damage to the L6? At max range, probably not. But it will be able to force it back eventually if it keeps hitting that front armor. And well, here comes the big brother. Sherman 2 arrives. Gonna tell that L6 to pick on someone his own size, even though a Sherman 2 is far from the size of an L6, but there we go. L6 is doing a runner, falling back for the time being. L6 on this top side does get internal fragmented by the Morris LRC. Fallschirmjägers that found the Commando 6 squads, they're being forced back, and the use of these Commando 6 squads throughout this game have been on point. And well, with a +4 now on the board for Gonzo, it's going to be victory in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. The Pak 41 Gerlich's also pinned down now by the Fusilier Marines, and well, Cadilakor is going to make it even shorter. It's going to surrender after 9 minutes and 1 second. Wow. Quite the game there from Gonzo. Had a solid game plan from the off the bat, and I think Cadilakor just didn't. Yeah, it's very uncommon these days for people to overinvest into towns, so investing in off-map to try and push through towns is kind of futile in most cases. You won't get your value for money out of it. Now, there was potential for that L6 to kind of surrender multiple infantry squads, but the timing was just a little bit off, so the squads had more than enough time to kind of run away before the L6 came down the main road. So let's have a look at the kills and losses. 785 kills to 105 losses. Yeah, Gonzo barely lost a thing. These are the losses for Gonzo. 2 commando leaders, commando assaults, commando Fusilier Marines, and a Jeep. And that was just to the L6s and the 210mm off map. The Fallschirmjägers did nothing in this game. Centaur, well, that came through on the top side quite nicely. Actually bagged itself an L6 kill, potentially a surrender. Wildcat, of course, shooting down that HS-129 was gruesome to watch. That really was tough for Cadilakor because he invested in both the HS-129 and the 210mm off map, and neither of them really paid off. So massive losses for Cadilakor early on. Also, all of the infantry on the side of the SSB was, beating the 3rd Fallschirmjäger as well, so that didn't help either. So, Cadilakor left in the dust in game 2, that's for sure. It's quite a shame because he put a lot of effort into the first game, and I'm pretty sure he'd be disappointed with this one after that. Hopefully it doesn't affect his Game 3 performance, and we can get a real good last game in this best of 3 series. But until then, it's 1-1 between them, and we'll be moving on to a third game. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you then. Goodbye.